Hello and welcome to Warblog. I've actually updated one of the older scenarios. I know there's all these things looking guiltily at me, but I was reading about Soledar and I thought, hang on, I recognise that name. And so I updated the scenario. So only sort of like 6 months late. But I built it slightly differently, like this. I'm just going to play it. But the reason being, because whenever you look at these things sort of on the internet, they don't look like there's a lot of people there. They're not like massive front lines. It's like they just sent a few people in, and they're quite difficult to get out. And so I think this might sort of reflect what's happening slightly. Obviously the Russians first, so we want to take these two places, and we should be able to do that. I don't know, maybe not, but let's just see what we can do. We've got some air defence units over here. So we've only got one irregular company, and they've got an irregular company. So they should actually be 1-to-1, but they're in defence. So let's see whether we can take this unit out first. So we're going to use drones. Okay, well, let's actually see what we can do with the artillery. Right, so he's been taken back 3. This is just, I've no idea what's going to happen here. An exchange. So we really need to hit them more than that. But they didn't get the exchange factor, only we did, so not a big problem. And same down here. So we really want to get more than 3. And that's not going in the right direction. Right. I'm not going to attack, but I'm going to go there. And I'm going to do an attrition. It's been a long time since I've done an attrition. Nothing. Right. So, well, I don't know how these games are going to work out. Because I just sort of put this here as a sort of, just to get an idea. Because there's not a lot of units, so we're fighting sort of 1-to-1 there, but relying on the indirects of the drones and the artillery. Now, the Ukrainians don't have as powerful drones, but the thing is, I'm beginning to sort of imagine that they're sort of fairly, for some reason, equally balanced. When I first started looking at all this stuff, when it first happened, I just made the assumption that Russia was going to be the superpower, and Ukraine was going to be the sort of the minor European vassal. But so they've probably got drones, they've probably got artillery, but we haven't got, in this scenario as it stands, they haven't got as much. Now they do have air defence out here, so well, it doesn't matter where they put their drones, but they might want to take their air defence out first if they can. So there's an opportunity. No effect. 2.4, 1.6, putting that at 4. Now the thing is, I think this is quite a serious consideration. We don't really want to lose the drones whilst this is still here. So although we're just sort of playing off the cuff, I'm not going to fly the Ukrainian drones because I don't want to risk losing one when I think we can take that out next turn. But it depends on what the Russians do. Let's just leave it. But what else have we got? Leave that there. Do we want to move this stuff forward? Give it a go. And we leave everyone else where they are. So, the Russians. Now, reinforcements are coming in. Special forces. We'll leave someone with our air defense. Right. We've got the same situation, so we're going to split it again. Puts him to 3.45. We've got special forces coming in there now. So it's 6.2. I think I'm actually going to leave him because I want him to recover. And I'm just going to try it with my special forces. 5-1, so we push them back. And we can take Yakovlivka and do a combined attack with that unit and the air defense. Why not? So it pushes him right there. Still alive. Not a big deal. And here, so drones. 1.3, pushing him up now to 2.9, and artillery. $5.2. Okay, well we've got 2-1, so it should be a 1-1 or 2-1. We push them back. So it's sort of working, I think, as I sort of maybe envisaged it. But I think the sort of the cutting point is, can you move? Can you sort of attrition these irregular units as they came into the board faster than they can be replaced? Which is the same as before, really. But for the previous scenario, I did really similarly weighted. Now, so we've lost these two places, so we're pulling back into Soledar. But let's do our artillery here. Oh. Again, I'm not going to use my drones because I don't want to lose them. Right, so the Russians now, they've got a lot. Okay. He's now full. What do I want to do? Do I want to try and go across here? Might as well. And I put in a few small sort of units like this. Should be able to just knock him out. Yeah. So we're coming out onto Soledar already, so it's not particularly weighted as I would like, but we're going to attack now. But now our drones are in their air defense thing, so we could either try and take their air defense out with our artillery. Maybe we should have done that before. 2.2, 1.4, 2.3. We've destroyed it. And let's try this one here because we know he's wounded. 0.6. Okay. So they've lost their air defense. But I really want to take that out. They're in the open. Got it. So now we're sort of more equal. Now this special force unit, I think it needs to be a priority. And we can attack it with our drones, see what that does. So really, I think I'm going to have to give maybe the Ukrainians a bit more. But we'll see. Okay. Well, we should be able to just destroy all of this. Got some armor coming on over here. 4.25. Okay. An exchange. So the Battle of Soledar has not gone in the Russians' favour. Might be able to push them out without armour. No. So it's a stoic defence. I don't think we're going to try that. I don't think we're going to try that either. Okay. So now the Ukrainians. See, this might be a better target because they're in the open. But he's at 1.6. So the armour and the mechanized will have reduced damage, I think. So trying to take out these special forces units might be good. 2.2, that's good. That's good. That's good. 8.4. And now we've got uncontested air power. And we've destroyed the special forces. That's sort of what I'm trying to get to, really, is that things that come on the board are readily destroyed. And so it's sort of a continued process. Now we're obviously not able to take all of that, but now all of a sudden the Russian front has lost, what you might consider to be a key unit, and it's just been destroyed because of all the indirect fire. They didn't even get to attack this unit there. So these are two. It's attacking with a drone. .25. So we'll sit there and recover what we can. More units coming on. Okay. Well, we definitely want to take these units out, and I think we should be able to do that this turn. But they're now all entrenched, look. Anti-tank. So we've got more special forces coming on. Let's just see whether we can use everything. We've got some artillery. Let's do our artillery first. So all this artillery has basically done nothing other than cause the sort of landscapes that we're so familiar with. Just sort of almost First World War type wastelands. Using everything, and we pushed them back. Armour and irregular. 1-to-1, push them back. Use our drones in here. And we've routed him. This could be tight, but we've got a lot of other units that we can push into it, and it's an exchange. Okay. Well, there's a nice big stack there. Oh. No. They're all in the open. So 1.4 for those special forces, 3.6 for the mechanized, 1.7 there. I think they need more, really. I think that would balance it up a bit from the point of view that what I'd like to see is the sort of, a lot of things being removed, because at this rate, the Ukrainians are going to start to build up a front line. The Russians will have a front line, and it's going to be more sort of just normal, really. I think what the effect that I'm trying to get is to have, most of what comes on reduced very quickly by the indirect fire, whether it's artillery or drone in this case, but the other things like missiles, and it just seems to me that they're not using dense front lines. I mean, I know already that there's probably they're not even using the sort of company level units. I was looking at quite an interesting tank battle that involved 3 Russian tanks and 2 Ukrainian tanks across quite a wide sort of rural landscape, and there's hardly the battle of the Bulge, but I think it's typical of what's actually happening. I'm tempted to have another go actually. I'll just give it another twirl, see what the Ukrainians can do. Oh, it's the Ukrainian turn now, isn't it? I don't wanna... So he's not got any depressions at all. I think I'm going to go for these 2 stacks, just weaken them up a bit. I'm going to split it. Okay. Then we should be able to knock him straight out. And let's just use everyone. Exchange. So the special forces have kicked themselves in the teeth. However, we should be able to attack some of these tanks now with our anti-tank systems. So that's 2.1. We should be able to eliminate him. No, in exchange. Okay. So, Ukrainian turn. What can I do? We've got this. Got to do everything on here. And that AR didn't help. That's just stupid. 3. What are they on? 5.7. That's not what I want to do. I want to do one last attack. The drone attacks always cause morale checks. The wrong unit failed. But he's at 6.3. He's at 8.5. So it could be an opportunity for a Ukrainian counterattack. And we eliminated their special forces units. And we used the armor to advance heavily. I'll leave him to recover. He's not got any depressions, but there's nothing we can attack. But he's got armor in there. Anti-tank onto his armor. 0.4. I'd rather he recovered. It's interesting, really. I think it's interesting, but it's not interesting for the right reasons. I think that we need the effects to be really sort of, we need there to be a withering, indirect fire. The reason I say that is because I saw one of these shots actually going into, I think it was Soledar, and you get the feeling that gaining victory on the battlefield is actually relatively hollow, from the point of view that at any moment you can get an airstrike come in, pinpoint accuracy right on your spot. I mean, that must be, no matter, I mean, historically, I was starting to think, well, what would be the difference between the Second World War and this? Well, in the Second World War, once the tanks come in, there's not much that could stop them other than anti-tank fire, which is fair enough. But once you sort of gained victory on the battlefield was yours, so to speak. So you could start to sort of, really move your troops along the roads and exploit, make advantage of mobile warfare. And it just seems to me that if you take a position, you can still get some, a barrage of drone strikes or, guided artillery rounds coming in and taking you out. It's sort of, and I think that what I wanted this to show that, because at the moment we were attacking each other and inflicting losses, but basically because we've developed a front line, and that's not really what I wanted. So I'm actually going to have another go at this, because I've only been for 36 minutes, and see whether I can change the way it feels.